Welcome, Bitcoin fam, to the number one Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin's pumping. We did tap roughly 106 a little earlier, within 3,000 striking distance from new all-time highs. In today's show, we'll be discussing 116, the next likely target, quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser. Rumor, Panama Canal thinking about discounts for passing through for anyone paying in Bitcoin. The Panama Canal does $5 billion a year in revenue. Let's go. Also, Bitcoin standard author, Fidelity Investments, backs funding dev to make spamming Bitcoin very costly. Also, retired artist loses $2 million in crypto due to the Coinbase impersonator. That's right, from the recent data hack. We'll be discussing this, as well as shares of Chinese apparel firm in choppy trading after announcing 800 million Bitcoin buy strategy. Also, speaking of strategy, MicroStrategy, hence Strategy B, triples down on their Bitcoin. In fact, Saylor just posted again the infamous Saylor tracker, and he wrote, "Never short a man who buys orange ink by the barrel," anticipating another massive buy announcement from the Giga Chad here by tomorrow. Also, holding 0.001 Bitcoin can make you a multimillionaire. According to Fidelity director Jurrien Timmer, he's projecting $1 billion Bitcoin price by the year 2038. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important, smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe. We're the number one Bitcoin channel, hands down. Then ring the bell, turn on all notifications, receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1995. I'm your host, JV. It's Sunday, May 18, 2025. Bitcoin touched roughly 106 here this afternoon, within striking distance, 3,000 away from price discovery. Price discovery is in play. Higher numbers are on the way. Shout out Chandy 10 Music. But anyways, fam, let's get this mofo started. We're going to kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. Massive shout out to Warpaint. Appreciate the super. He wrote Omega Pump Watch. Blessings, JV, Nip, and the fam. So we're only 8 more supers away from hitting our goal. And if we can get 10 supers during the first hour of the stream, we'll do a bonus pump watch. And we'll send this mofo out of the firmament where it belongs. But anyways, you can see Bitcoin up still 0.5% on the day, even after the retrace, maintaining above 104. Ether, BNB, Tron correcting it in the red. We also have XRP in the green for the day, alongside the Pi network. And checking out the infamous CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap back on a rise, 3.26 trillion. Bitcoin market cap 2.061 trillion. We got roughly 108 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, up 14% on the day. We have the Bitcoin dominance today at 63.1%, back on the rise. Ether dominance took a step back, currently 8.8%. And checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, virtual lead in the pack, up 14%, followed by Pi up 6%, followed by Brett up just shy of 6%. Let me know which alts, if any, you're bullish on for this bull. Holla at your motherfucking boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we'll get a visual perspective. We'll start on the day. Safe to say, I'd say 60-40 green over red. It's kind of divided. I may say 50-50. I take that back. And zooming out on the weekly, unfortunately, 80-20 red over green. And zooming out on the monthly, things are looking pretty lit overall. I'd say 95% of the market pumping big time. Even Trump coin up 66% in the past 30 days. WIF up 139% and virtual up 227%. Even the pudgy little penguins up over 100%. And checking out the crypto greed infer index. Today we're 74. That's a divine omen, because yesterday was a 74. What's 7 plus 4? That's an 11. And what's 11 plus an 11? That's an 1111. And guess what? 1.1 million is JV's bull scenario target for this cycle. Guess what Max Keiser's target is? 1.1 plus 1.1. Another divine omen of an 1111. 2.2 million in play. Nipinator indicator don't lie. That's all I got to say. And checking out. You like my math? That's my astrology for the broskies. Time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 897,276. We have 152,724 blocks until the halving of 2028. You currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 963 sats. So you know what to do. You pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. Get yourself a custom BD exclusive, just like this. Next story. After the infamous freeze frame, headline here reads, Bitcoin price to 116 next. Bitcoin traders see early week all-time high. Will it be today? Will it be tomorrow? Will it be on what is it? Taco Tuesday. You let me know, but it's definitely incoming. Check it. Bitcoin reduced volatility to a minimum into the May 18th weekly close as traders bet on a fresh breakout. And we do get a weekly close here in about I'd say in about 90 minutes. So we'll be sharing that here on the live stream. Here looking at a 4-hour chart, and I'll be pulling up the live charts here in a bit. Trading views showed the area around 103 acting as a price magnet throughout the weekend. Now barely fluctuating up or down, Bitcoin was primed for a liquidity grab with 105 and 103, both targets according to CoinGlass confirming here on the heat map. And commenting on the current market structure, traders remain broadly bullish, anticipating a rematch with the all-time highs and a return of the price discovery, return of the dragon. We're summoning Bruce Lee in his heyday. Just saying. Next early week, Bitcoin target 116, according to this analyst. The chart underscored the lack of volatility characterizing Bitcoin over the past week. As he shared here, Bitcoin is a brewing within the convergent triangle with decreasing volume, which is a common indicator of a potential for a breakout. 116, baby. Now, fellow trader Mikey Bull described the market structure as an intraday diamond pattern breakout. Where are my diamond hands at? Make some motherfucking noise. You can see the diamond right here, and that ain't no Rockefeller. Now, with the recent run-up, which has been consistent with the Coinbase spot premium, this is good and shows there's a solid demand, according to Dan. Crypto trades, more conservative perspectives were confined to the temporary pullback before the upside resume. Crypto Nuevo said slow week and Bitcoin hasn't been able to break resistance thus far. We ultimately just reclaimed the price action we ain't seen since January when we hit the all-time high, 1093, Jan 20th, inauguration day. We're so back. Quoting Dan Crypto Trades, Bitcoin has failed to push higher relative to stocks. The recent relative weakness has come after the U.S. has made a deal with China. This does show that Bitcoin has turned into this asset, which gets interesting for investors when outflows and uncertainty happens elsewhere. I mean, there you have it. Let me know if you agree, disagree with the analyst. And quoting Max Kaiser, rumor alert, Panama Canal thinking about discounts for passing through for anyone paying in the biddy. The canal does $5 billion a year in revenue. And my speculation says that at the Vegas conference, one of the top dogs from Panama City, the governor, is going to be there on stage. Max and Stacy are going to be there. I think they're going to make a big announcement of adopting a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the country of Panama as Latin American adoption of Bitcoin is in full effect, thanks to Bukele, Max and Stacy, and all the geniuses behind that, would make an adoption in Bitcoin country. Panama, the next domino to fall. But you guys, let me know your thoughts. Panama, let's go. And I'm going to be pulling up some of the live charts. We'll do a little astrology for the baddies, as we do each and every day. So you should be able to see live it in your screen. Right now, brace yourself, fools. Pretty little bitty going up forever lower. Yeah, 1 hour chart, green scenario, 116. I repeat, 116 bullish pennant in play on the 1 hour, and I dare say probably going to be the same on the 4 hour. But let's, first things first, JV. Let's start with the 1 hour. We also have a 110 target. That's a sexy little bitty blackjack. And zooming out from there, we'll check out that 4 hour. We should still have the 116 target. We had it yesterday, so most likely still in play. It is bullish pennant formation sensation. Let's get it while the bears are aggravated. Take that, Peter Schiffmeister. 116.3 bullish pennant in play on the 4 hour, looking extremely lit right now. You can see we jumped to about 106 low earlier today. Had a little correction, but we're currently maintaining around 104, again, at the time of the live stream. And checking out the daily chart, also looking very lit. We've been having upwards bullish momentum overall. You can see some very bullish candle daily closes. Obviously, we've been trading sideways over the weekend, but it seems the bulls are back in town. So you know what to do. And zooming out from there, we take a look at a weekly. And we'll check out the weekly chart, which says it's going up forever, JV. That's right. We have the 124, cup and handle target like clockwork. That particular target has been printed for several months now on the weekly chart. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll get a weekly close here in roughly an hour, hour and a half. And hopefully, obviously, we close in the green. Continuing the bullish momentum, we did have 5 consecutive green weekly candle closes, so hopefully it maintains. And checking out the monthly, obviously the month of May has been bullish thus far, though we're only 18 days in. Last month, April, bullish green candle closed, and the 2 months prior were bearish. So thus far, so good for Q2. New all-time highs in play. You let me know which particular day. Will it be today, tomorrow, end of the week? earlier in the week, midweek. Holla at your boy. I read your comments out loud again. Welcome, everyone. Regarding spam in the Bitcoin network, Bitcoin Standard author Fidelity Investments backs funding dev to make spamming Bitcoin costly. So let's break this baby down. Economist and author of the Bitcoin Standard, Fidelity Investments, has weighed in on the ongoing debate over the spam inscriptions on the Bitcoin network, suggesting he would throw in a few sats to fund a full-time developer focused on making Bitcoin spamming more difficult and expensive. That's right. Amos made the remarks in response to a thread initiated by the anonymous developer Grass-Fed Bitcoin, who called for a Bitcoin core to merge pull request number 28,408, which would enable node operators to filter inscriptions more easily. And according to the Grass-Fed Biddy, the lack of inscription filtering tools contributes to the unnecessary blockchain bloat and undermines Bitcoin's role as a monetary protocol. No one running a node wants to relay inscriptions, he shared, arguing that the op return limit increases were justified in the past under false assumptions. He pushed for a configurable default policy discouraging the use of Bitcoin for storing JPEGs rather than monetary data. Blockstream CEO and Bitcoin OG Adam Back challenged the proposal, describing inscription filtering as an arms race. He noted the spam data embedded in the Bitcoin transactions can be endlessly modified using code structures requiring constant updates and filtering tools, and if anyone was to know, it'd be Adam Back, because if it wasn't for this man, we potentially would not have Bitcoin as we know it today. So he played a great deal in the creation of Bitcoin. Some would even say he's Satoshi. I don't know about all that. Amos compared the Bitcoin spam issue to the email spam, another arms race society continues to fight without abandoning the system. And I think that's a great example. We all get thousands of spam emails, but we still use email overall, still thriving. So it's not easy, he says, but it's worth trying to help bankrupt the spammers faster. He argued that fighting spam is not censorship, noting that node operators already reject invalid transactions. So a node runner looking to remove the retard spam is no less valid than the retard spam. Makes a good point. The debate drew commentary from other users. One participant suggested core developers treat spam coding employees at certain startups as unwilling QA engineers and simply unstandardize every trick they deploy. Amos took it further, proposing to deprecate, is that the proper pronunciation there? Deprecate the work of developers building spam tools and even hiring outside coders to overwhelm their systems. Quoting Fidelity in here, yes, I think depreciating the work of any dev involved in rationalizing, justifying retard spam or working for the retard spam companies is a good way forward. Would also be nice to hire non-retard devs. I'm just so happy we brought the word retard back. I'll just keep it 100 with you guys. Go work on the Ether Ripple if you want to cater to the artards, better known as the retards. We don't got to censor the retard word no more. No more artards, the retards. Thank you, Cyphidian. The conversation reflects ongoing tensions in the Bitcoin community over the network's intended use, with inscriptions continuing to congest the network. Calls for technical countermeasures and pointed critiques of those defending the spam are continuing to grow louder. On a February 4th report, Mempool Research said the adoption of the inscriptions could drive the Bitcoin network average block size as high as 4 megabytes per block, far higher than the current averages. Bitcoin's average block size, the amount of the data in each block posted to the network's public ledger, is currently just 1.5 MB. What are your thoughts on the spam issue with the BRC20s? And, you know, there's like the ultimately, the inscriptions is the NFT equivalent on the Bitcoin blockchain, which was ultimately clogging up the network, raising the prices on Bitcoin Core. Which solution are you proposing for? Let me know and I'll read your comments. So yeah, as you know, Coinbase was recently hacked for the KYC data and people are getting scammed as a result. This headline's very sad. Retired artist loses $2 million in crypto due to a Coinbase impersonator. I feel it's important to share this with you so you know what to avoid so you don't get scammed. So check it. Retired artist Ed Summon lost over $2 million of crypto earlier this year after falling victim to a scam involving someone posing as a Coinbase support representative. Summon 67 spent nearly 2 decades as a fabricator in the art world, helping build high-profile works such as Jeff Koons' balloon dog sculptures. I mean, he's contributing to dog sculptures, guys. That's so sad. And after retiring, he turned to crypto investing, eventually accumulating 17.5 Bitcoin and 225 Ether, a portfolio that comprised most of his retirement savings. He stored the funds on a Trezor Model 1, a hardware wallet commonly used by crypto holders to avoid the risk of exchange hacks. But in March, someone received a text message appearing to be from Coinbase. Heads up, Coinbase is never going to text you, just FYI, and they're never going to call you. So note it's going to be a scam if that happens. Warning him of unauthorized account access. Oh no. After responding, he got a phone call from the man identifying himself as a Coinbase security staffer named Brett Miller. I'm curious if he had an Indian accent. The caller appeared knowledgeable, correctly stating that Summon's funds were stored in a hardware wallet. He then convinced Summon that his wallet could still be vulnerable and walk him through a security procedure. Another red flag, family. Never plug in your cold storage wallet device just because some random person on the phone is telling you to do so. Bad look. That involved entering a seed phrase. Another red flag, never enter your seed phrase under any condition. That's like only if you lost your wallet itself. That's what your seed phrase is there for. And never let someone convince you to type in your seed phrase as well online, because it could be a phishing attack just like this. 9 days later, a second caller claiming to be from Coinbase repeated the process. And by the end of the call, all of Summon's crypto holdings, finito. Just like that. Now, the scam followed a data breach at Coinbase disclosed this week in which attackers bribed customer support staff. Now, my understanding is I think one of the staffers sold the information, which is even crazier, right? Stolen data included customer names, account balances, and transaction histories. Coinbase confirmed the breach impacted roughly 1% of its monthly transacting users. And amongst the affected was venture capitalist Boltha, managing partner of Sequoia Capital. There's no indication his funds were accessed, as Boltha declined to comment. Coinbase Chief Security Officer Philip Martin reportedly said the contracted customer service agents at the center of the controversy were based in India. Not surprised, because India is the home of scamming in general. I mean, they have all the scam call centers. I don't know if you guys ever watched like Scammer Payback, any of that, but again, not surprised. 9 out of 10 times you're going to notice the scammers out of India. So if you ever recognize an Indian accent of any type, probably a scammer. Now, sorry to say that, Indians, but it's just a reality. The exchange has also said it plans to pay between 180 and 400 million in remediation and reimbursement to the affected users. So hopefully this guy with the 2 million loss is covered. But I hate to hear these stories. They happen all too often. Shout out Chandy with the Blackjack 21 to 110 quickly taken by the 11,000 then Moon for the pit stop. Game on. This gong strike is for you. Greatly appreciate you, Chandy. You're the bomb diggity bomb. Bada boom. I bought a Bitcoin. Next story of the day. Where are we at? We're going to discuss this big $800 million buy from this Chinese company. A lot of Chinese Bitcoin treasury companies are being birthed, as we've been covering. There was a company the other day purchasing $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And here's another one. Shares of Chinese apparel firm in choppy trading after announcing $800 million Bitcoin investment strategy. Respect my authority. That's right. Shares of Chinese investment holding company have been volatile since the firm rolled out the 800 million Bitcoin investment plan earlier in the week. On Thursday, the Shenzhen, where you at? Based Adentax Group Corp announced plans to issue shares of the common stock to buy 8,000 of the bitty and acquire undefined amounts of other crypto assets, including Trump's meme coin. Interesting. The firm's shares listed on the NASDAQ as ATXG were priced at 72 cents before the announcement and then quickly jumped to $1.68 the same day. That's more than double, baby. The stock then promptly retraced it and dipped even lower than its original price, now trading at 61 cents. ATXG is down nearly 9% of the past 24 hours and more than 20% of the past 5 days. Adentax specializes in garment manufacturing, logistics services, property management, and subleasing. The firm notes it has been in discussions with a number of substantial, influential Bitcoin and other mainstream crypto holders to facilitate the upcoming acquisitions. Tax Chief Executive Hong Jida said that the investments are part of the firm's broader blockchain strategy. Quoting him here, "We believe that certain established digital assets may serve as a stable component of the company's long-term holdings, given their liquidity and increasing institutional interest over the recent years." Now, regarding Bitcoin, 100%. Regarding Trump meme coin or any meme coin, I can't say the same thing. If you're looking for stability, don't look at the alts, especially meme coins. They're going to be the most volatile out of them all. And that's just common sense, right? And next story. This one says, MicroStrategy triples down on Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor's teasing us this morning. He wrote, "Never short a man who buys orange ink by the barrel." And it shows you Strategy already has 59 billion worth of Bitcoin. And this is the infamous Saylor tracker. And like clockwork, every Sunday he posts this is a precursor that tomorrow he's going to announce another massive buy. It could be multiple billions for all we know. There's no telling with the Giga Chad, but let's break this baby down, shall we? And also, Michael Saylor posted this the other day. MSTR is winning the financial triple crown. First place this quarter, first place this year, first place since adopting the Bitcoin standard. Our strategy works because it's built on BTC. And I mean, numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard. And shout out Max Kaiser. He actually reposted this article, which caught my interest. I'm going to read this to you, and then we'll dive and transition into our feature story of the day. Fidelity predicting Bitcoin hitting $1 billion per coin by 2038. But anyways, we have been forced to write about MicroStrategy and its Yatophile CEO. I never heard that term, Yatophile. Interesting. I just call him the Giga Chad, but nonetheless. Giga Chad was part of the recent dramatic monochromatic call to arms alongside the Bitcoin televangelist, the high priest, your holiness himself, Max Kaiser, which we still can't quite shake and so feel compelled to post again. So let's dive into this. Last Monday, there was news announced of 400 million of senior secured debt to add to the stash of 92,000 Bitcoin, which is about 3.7 billion in nanosecond prices. Now, we all know MicroStrategy/Strategy B has like close to 600,000 Bitcoin. They achieved 555,000. I think that was last week, and they've been on a buying spree, and they're probably going to make another big announcement tomorrow of what they've just recently accumulated. Saylor isn't the kind of man who would let the loss of 78 cents of his equity base get to him. Oh no, MicroStrategy is now tripling down. The triple crown. Late on Monday, the company announced using a so-called self-registration process, which allows issuers to offer and sell securities, but without a separate prospectus for each offering, that it will be selling up to $1 billion of its Class A shares to spend the general corporate purposes, including natural element, the acquisition of Bitcoin. Earlier in the day, the company announced it had completed the junk bond sale. It announced last week. We call this the Saylor put. Hence, he is the Bitcoin alchemist, raising slightly more than planned, which is pretty typical, 488 million in honor of its swelling, wobbly Bitcoin tower. Say that again. The company does flag some potential risks in its S3 filing, quoting them here. If our third-party service providers experience a security breach or a cyber attack, or if our private key is lost or destroyed, we may lose some or all of our Bitcoin. The concentration of our Bitcoin holdings enhance the risk inherent in our Bitcoin acquisition strategy, and our Bitcoin holdings are less liquid than our existing cash and cash equivalents and may not be able to serve as a source of liquidity for us in the same extent as cash and cash equivalent, and our Bitcoin holdings could be subject to regulatory scrutiny. But it quickly gets onto more optimistic things, telling us it has two simple strategies. Number one, we pursue two corporate strategies to grow our enterprise analytics software business to promote our vision of intelligence everywhere. And number two, acquire and hold Bitcoin, which we view as a dependable store of value supported by a robust public open source architecture untethered to sovereign monetary policy, and utterly dependable apart from when it plunges 30% in the space of a few hours. Intelligence everywhere indeed. Also, strategy is about to get some Bitcoin sprinkles on it as he says here. We're also exploring opportunities to apply Bitcoin-related technologies such as blockchain analytics into our software offerings. And the company said it has diversified into Bitcoin education, quoting them again. We also believe that Bitcoin offers additional opportunity for appreciation and value with increasing adoption due to its limited supply, the most scarcest, hardest asset that's unf-wittable, impregnable, just saying. Under the corporate strategy, we also periodically engage in activities to educate the market regarding Bitcoin. We believe that our Bitcoin acquisition strategy is complementary to our enterprise analytics software and service business, and we believe that our Bitcoin and related activities in support of the Bitcoin network enhance awareness of our brand and can provide opportunities to secure new customers for our analytic offerings. Now, funnily enough, we actually learned something we didn't know about Bitcoin from the filing itself. So it turns out the education is in full swing. Bitcoin can be used to pay for goods and services. Also, they'll probably add to their hodlings and are basically never selling, as he says here. We view our Bitcoin holdings as long-term holdings. That's because Saylor perceives every single Bitcoin being worth at least 13 million, which he has stated before. And we do not plan to engage in regular trading of Bitcoin and have not hedged or otherwise entered into derivative contracts with respect to our Bitcoin holdings. Though we may sell Bitcoin in future periods as needed to generate cash for treasury management and other general corporate purposes. We have not targeted any specific amount of Bitcoin holdings. We will continue to monitor market conditions and determining whether to conduct debt or equity financings to purchase additional Bitcoin. So you already know. You guys let me know where you feel. How much of it a purchase are they going to announce tomorrow? I'm speculating somewhere between $1 and $2 billion, but you guys let me know your thoughts. All right, fam, now for our feature story of the day. Holding just 0.001 BTC could make you a multi-millionaire, according to Fidelity Director Jurrien Timmer. So I'm going to break down their $1 billion Bitcoin price prediction by the year 2038, one of the most bullish price targets you probably have ever heard, and right up my alley. Bitcoin has made its name as a deflationary decentralized asset. These properties are written into the source code and cannot be altered. Many see these characteristics and think about how it could potentially send the price higher and wonder how a small investment in Bitcoin can create generational wealth. Preach. Take a look at what some of the top analysts are saying about the Bitcoin price over the coming decades. One of the more compelling predictions for the future price of the Bitty comes from Fidelity Investments. Jurrien Timmer, Fidelity's global head of macro, has claimed Bitcoin can go as high as $1 billion per coin by 2038. Now, considering it's already 2025, 13 years. Could you literally picture 13 years from now, in the year 2038, Bitcoin trading at $1 billion? I can. Welcome to my world. The prediction is mostly based on Metcalfe's law, which states that a network's financial assets value is equal to the square of a number of users in the network. So the law, which places a numerical emphasis on the network effects, has mostly been applied to technology such as the internet and social media. However, Jurrien Timmer believes that the law is also applicable to Bitcoin. Let's discuss it. Bitcoin is, at its core, a network. That's right. We got Bitcoin the money. We also have Bitcoin the network. It helps connect users to facilitate peer-to-peer transactions. And according to Timmer and Metcalfe's law, the value of the Bitty should increase exponentially as new users join the network. This exponential growth has been shown in the past, with Bitcoin exploding in price over the past decade. And at the same time as the number of users has grown greatly. So it's like the beginning phases of the internet, but only bigger. I'm just saying. So with the new spot ETFs, the number of the users in Bitcoin has also increased, which was correlated with the new all-time highs. Current all-time high 109.3, and again, already today we came within $3,000 striking distance, which ultimately means all-time highs in play. Price discovery, baby. Now, the prediction relies on two main assumptions. First, Timmer assumes that new users of the network will value the connections it provides and be able to use them. Fact. This could be the issue for those who simply want to invest in Bitcoin as a store of value and do not want to use it as a way to transact. Hence, most people are probably using Bitcoin as specifically a store of value versus as an everyday currency, right? Unless you're maybe in Bitcoin country or something. Now, Timmer also assumes that the number of the users of Bitcoin will continue to grow rapidly, exponentially over the next decade. It's also possible that Bitcoin will fail to reach the large-scale adoption necessary to reach the billion price target. But despite the assumptions, Timmer presents an interesting case for the 1 billion Bitcoin price using a popular economic model. So let's discuss it. If Bitcoin reaches $1 billion per coin, an investment of just 1,000 into Bitcoin would be worth 16.7 million in 13 years by the year 2038. And a minimum investment of 60 bucks, which today is virtually 0.001 Bitcoin, would be needed to become a millionaire. I mean, so whether Bitcoin reaches a billion or not, one thing is for certain, Bitcoin's going up forever. And the reason it's going up forever is because they're going to continue to print until the wheels fall off. And as long as they print money, Bitcoin's going to increase in purchasing power, how it has been doing flawlessly over the past 16 years. And unfortunately for the dollar, it's going to continue to lose its purchasing power.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one.
I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, my personal prediction, this cycle, 1.1 million in play. Potentially this year. I'm not saying it's the most probable scenario, but it can happen. Anything can happen. When I first got started in Bitcoin, it was $1,500 back in 2017, the year after the halving of 2016. And by the end of the year, it shot up to virtually 20,000. It was around Christmas time. I remember like it was yesterday because I remember renting this mansion for my family to celebrate. Long story short, that's like a 20x in 1 year. Granted, that was 2 cycles ago. Anything is possible. Also, keep this in mind. After Novid in March of 2020, Bitcoin crashed to the 3,000 to 4,000 range. So let's just say 3,500 at the bottom. It was probably flirting at like 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, and then it dumped after COVID because of all the uncertainty in the market. And within 1 year, from March of 2020 till March of 2021, Bitcoin hit 60,000. So if it can go from 3,000 to 60,000 in 12 months, then you're damn right. Bitcoin could do a 10x from here and be practically 1.1 million or an 11x, whatever it may be. Max Kaiser's calling for 2.2 million in play. My bear scenario, which means the absolute worst that Bitcoin will do this year, 222,000. Base case, 420. Why are you so base, JV? I do it for the broskies. We keep it base for the 420. But anything is possible. You guys let me know your thoughts regarding Fidelity. Do you think we can genuinely hit 1 billion per coin and that 0.001 Bitcoin will make you a multi-millionaire within the next 13 years by the year 2038? Yay or nay? And if you answer no, then by what year will you become a multi-millionaire with 0.001 Bitcoin? Because here's the thing. Bitcoin is going up forever. Laura, that's a fact. Purchasing power will continue to increase. How many Bitcoin does it require to purchase the average house in America nowadays? Maybe today, 4 Bitcoin. Last cycle, 40 Bitcoin. Previous cycle, 400 Bitcoin. Previous cycle, 4,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, you're starting to get the picture. Typically, every cycle, Bitcoin adds a 0 to the price action. If we add a 0 to today's price action, we're flirting with 1.1 million. Are you guys starting to see the bigger picture? Yay, nay. Holla at your boy. Welcome to the Q&A segment of the live stream. 1,700 live viewers. We have a poll currently open. When new Bitcoin all-time high? Today, this week, next week, June. Holla. And also, we're going to flip this mofo into a pump watch. So let me pull up some of the live charts and we'll jam out to some Chandy Jams.